All right, so like many of y'all, I went out and I saw the Batman over the weekend. This is going to be a spoiler review, just to let y'all know. So if y'all haven't watched the movie, please go out there and watch it. It actually is worth your time, especially if you've got 3 hours worth of your time. It is definitely worth it, and you're a Batman fan. This movie I went into with great expectations. I really did. Robert Pattinson looked absolutely amazing in the trailers um, when it come to this film. I enjoyed the music. I'll admit the music was amazing in this film and in that trailer. Like it really brings out what this movie is about, and I loved every aspect of that part of it. As far as this movie is as a whole, I almost felt like I was watching two different movies. One I really enjoyed, and one was kind of mediocre. Um, the one that I enjoyed was the detective part of it. It felt like a detective film. The problem with that, though, is it was such a great detective film that it took me out of it being a Batman film. Um, and then by the end of the movie, I was like, wow, I really enjoyed the detective aspect to it. But then I was like, wait a second. Bruce Wayne, or the Batman, is actually not that great of a detective. He only finds stuff after someone's dead or after something has happened. The only way he defeated the Riddler is for the Riddler to let him defeat him, which is really sad. And I didn't catch on to it the first time that I watched the movie, but the second time I watched it, I was like, whoa, wait a second. Everything that he does in this film is after the fact, not before. He's great at riddles, truly is great at riddles, but he is terrible at detective work. Really terrible at detective work. But that still is the most interesting aspect of this film. You never know what is coming next. You don't know where the Riddler is going to go and what he's going to do. And you don't catch on to it until the very, very end. And I love that part about it. It kept you guessing. It made you want to know what is going to happen next. This had an array of characters that was fun to watch. While I was disappointed that Robert Pattinson didn't get very many lines in this as Bruce Wayne, I thought he did an okay job. Not my favorite Batman of all time. Definitely better than Clooney, but I really can't think of who he's better at other than Clooney. I felt like Christian Bale did an amazing job as Batman. He just had a terrible Batman voice, something that Robert Pattinson actually does do well. But besides that, I feel like Robert Pattinson does literally nothing else better than Christian Bale. And I mean that fully and totally. Now, probably the standout to me, I feel like there was two standouts in this. One was Catwoman. I love Zoe Kravitz's Catwoman. I thought she did an amazing job. Like she was brutal. And she was just a brutal character just in general. And I love that part of it. Thought she was great as Selena Kyle. I cannot wait to see her in upcoming Batman films. Um, the only aspect of her character that I did not enjoy, and again, it's less on her than it is on Robert Pattinson and her. I felt like Zoe Kravitz and Robert Pattinson, when they tried to make them have a connection in the film, I didn't feel like it was there. I did not enjoy their romance story, if you could even call it that. I did not enjoy that aspect of this film whatsoever. It just wasn't very believable. I would have enjoyed I would enjoy Selena Kyle's romance more with the woman that was at the beginning of the film, her friend or girlfriend or whatever it was, than I would have enjoyed Robert Pattinson and her. Because at least I felt like she cared for this woman, where I never really got that aspect, even though they tried to push it, that she truly, truly cared for Batman or Bruce Wayne. I never got that out of it, but I thought she was really fun to watch in fight scenes. I enjoyed her lines, even though there were some questionable lines that I felt like really wasn't needed that she needed to say. One, I'll just flat out say, one of her lines, she's kind of hints at, well, your parents died, but you were rich, so I guess that doesn't hurt as bad. Like I didn't understand that. Like that kind of line threw me off. And another one was the white male thing that she brought about. I'm like, oh, they don't need to put all that junk in a Batman movie. I don't need to go woke in that regard. So those besides those two things, I thought she did an amazing job. Really, truly did. I enjoyed I enjoyed Colin Farrell's Penguin. I felt like he was the other standout of this film, and he had very few lines. But if you would not have known that that was Colin Farrell, you would never have guessed it from watching that. Man, is that guy an amazing actor. Really, truly is. He blended in that film and he made Penguin into a penguin that crap. I cannot wait to see that upcoming Penguin series. Like, that is going to be great with him as Penguin. He is, I mean, he's a chameleon to a certain extent. Like, he just blended in that fat suit. Like, he's just, like, that is just who he is. And then you look at him outside of that and you're like, how did he pull that off? And I didn't even recognize him. Voice and everything. It was completely and totally different. I mean, it was amazing. It truly was amazing. But I tell you, his and the Batman's car chase scene was epic. Loved every minute of it. I mean, it was like I said, it was epic. It was a fun scene, one that I hated to end in a lot of ways. Now, as far as Jeffrey Wright's James Gordon, what did James Gordon? I mean, I know I heard a lot of people said that they absolutely loved him as James Gordon. My question to them is, what did James Gordon actually do in this film? What did he do in this film besides constantly get Batman from not being arrested? That was it. He did literally nothing. He added nothing to this movie other than Batman constantly telling him, "You're the good one. You're the only good one in this," which was kind of ridiculous because at the end you actually find out there's a lot of people that was not on Falcone's payroll. So I mean, I'm like, he didn't say that to others. He sure didn't mind punching the others in the face, but he was that way towards James Gordon. I just felt like James Gordon was completely useless in this film. I really did. I thought there was no point in him being there. He added nothing to this storyline whatsoever. I don't know. I just didn't like him. Now, as far as Andy Serkis is I enjoyed him as Alfred. I did enjoy him. I wish they would have given him a little bit more lines, but there's not a lot you can say about him because he really didn't add much to the storyline. And then you get to the worst aspect of this film, the worst Riddler I have ever seen. Did not enjoy anything about this sadistic Riddler. This movie reminded me of like Seven or the Zodiac Killer or something along those lines. Um, he just wasn't original. I've seen that same character in countless other detective movies. Yes, he was original, I guess, for the character of Riddler, but that character has been played in so many other movies. That persona has been done in every other movie. We didn't need to see it in a Batman movie. It would, I would almost preferred Jim Carrey's version of the Riddler over Paul Dano's, and Paul Dano is an excellent um, actor. Really, truly is. And the idea that he did so bad in this was just really disheartening because I was looking forward to seeing what he brought to the table. And unfortunately, he was the worst one. I felt like, and that's the sad thing about it, because I felt like Robert Pattinson and Paul Dano, two that really should have been the two best ones, were actually what hindered this movie the most. was Robert Pattinson going full Twilight and Paul Dano being this weird, sadistic Riddler that we've seen in other movies. Might have been different as a Riddler in the Batman universe, but we've even seen those kind of characters in the Batman universe, just not the Riddler. So there was nothing that was added. I felt like he was a waste of the character, of a character. And I felt like that was a lot of the problems that I had. Anytime that he was on screen, I was a little bit bored. I was a little bit bored. Like I said, he just brought nothing to the table. Now, if this movie would have ended three-fourths of the way through, if this movie would have ended after Batman was done with Riddler, I would have given this movie an A. Definitely would have given it an A because I thought, hey, music's great. Enjoyed the detective storyline. Yes, Robert Pattinson maybe went full Twilight, but that's I can get past that. I enjoyed Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, Penguin. Everybody was good. Paul Dano was lacking, but hey, I could have got past it because at the end of the day, there was a lot more to do than even the main characters. When it come to this film, I would have given it an A. But then another 30 or 40 minutes was added on after that. And that's where this movie really, really dropped the ball. Dropped the ball big time because then it goes into this Riddler being like some kind of, I don't know, YouTube star or something where a lot of people followed him and then ended up um, trying to fulfill his own prophecy or his own job that he failed at. There was that, and that was just lame all the way around. Truly, truly was lame. Um, and then the blowing the waterways, like that was these. If they would have been like a rush or a tidal wave that would have completely and totally sunk the city, and he would have and Batman would have had to done something about it, that would have been really interesting. But instead, we got to see Batman be a paramedic, and that was it. We got to see Batman be a paramedic, realize that he's no longer vengeance; he is a paramedic at heart. Um, did not like that aspect of that film. Like that, it definitely did not stick the ending. Let's just put it that way. It failed miserably, miserably on that. So if you would have, like I said, if you would have asked me three-fourths of the way through this film, what I would have graded, I would have said an A. After watching the last 40 minutes of it, I would definitely give it maybe I don't want to say a C plus to a B minus, somewhere's in there. I really feel like it falls somewhere's in there just because of that last 30, 40 minutes that really wasn't needed. Didn't add anything to the story. It just kind of unraveled everything that had been built up. All the hype that had been built up all throughout the film. It just unraveled it to such an extreme. Yes, we got the Joker hint somewhere's in there, but that could have been the end of the film, and I would have been perfectly satisfied with it. After the Riddler was caught, like that would have been the better ending to it, unfortunately, and we didn't get that. So overall, I hate to say it because I did really truly enjoy this film. I would say, from a realistic standpoint, it is probably the best Batman film ever made. I mean, and it's so odd for me to say that I would give it about a C plus because it felt epic in a lot of ways. But those I can't forget those last 30, 40 minutes of the film. I really can't. I felt like that totally took me out of this story. And it was if it had been like 10 or 15 minutes, maybe I could have handled it, but it was a lot longer than that. It was like double, triple that. And I felt like that was more than enough time to unravel everything that we had seen after that. Do I feel like if If you're a Batman fan, definitely go out there and see it. If you want to watch an interesting movie, go out and see it. But let me know if those last 30 or 40 minutes ruined that film for you, because it really did for me in a lot of ways. Um, I still would say the best Batman film ever made. Simply because, while I can't forget the last 30 or 40 minutes of it, the 2 hours before that was amazing, was absolutely amazing. Uh, I see how they can make more Batman films with Robert Pattinson in it. Maybe just make it a Robert Pattinson that actually shows a heartbeat in any way, whether he's Batman or whether he's Bruce Wayne, and it would be a movie worth watching. Let Robert Pattinson be an actor in this instead of just that pouty Twilight character. That's what a sequel needs. That's what I'm looking forward to, especially if they go the Joker route. You don't want him to be the buzzkill to the Joker being awesome in some form or fashion. So that's just my take on it. Let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Let me know what y'all thought of this review. And as always, guys, if y'all enjoy this content, please like, subscribe, and leave that comment down below. And also, don't forget to check us out on Rumble and Minds as well. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Y'all take care.